It is that time. Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Silent Mike in the booth. KG's on vacay. Spencer Raxter. All of you as well. And Dr. Pierce, NFL football is back, which means injuries are back. What's up? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, man.
I just want to underline getting you and Spence to start stretching is like, if I can get you guys on the right track, I can.
What can he do for you?
That's
like,
right. I
come
can
on.
get anybody to move along.
No. I'll tell you this real quick before we get into the Jordan Love thing. That's what I'm on right now.
That's what you're itching?
But we got a couple things. We'll talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe I'll ask you a question about Aaron Rodgers and his demise. I will say this. Doc, I got on the stretching, and I asked you last week. I said, is it a placebo like that I feel more flexible? I'm convinced now I am more flexible after one. I am. I'm more flexible. I don't get sore. I got literally sore. But now we're after the first time we did it all.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now it's routine.
Now it's routine, and I like it. Is that weird?
No, it's, we don't want to talk about addiction stuff, but there's addictions to good stuff too, that good feeling, that euphoria feeling, and it actually creates the motivation also. So no, it's not. It's great. It's the feedback you need for yourself, which you admitted earlier. Sometimes you can hear it so many times, but until you're convinced mentally,
that's it.
That's when you become successful with any treatment plan that we're going to put together. You got to believe in who's telling it to you, which hopefully you believe in what I'm saying. But if I can't convince you, or I can't create something that you can relate to, like I can go give you a whole floor plan that's going to make you fit, all day long. But if you don't like it, you're not going to want to do it. Correct?
Absolutely. No, but I'm digging
Spence
it.
Getting, he's a little bit slow to the bandwagon, but he'll get there.
He's there. All right. You didn't come here to talk about that. We came here, DMAC, to talk about this. And Spenny, you have video of it.
Do.
This is like you do chalk talk with football, and we've had great clips in the past of Braylon Edwards breaking down routes. I want to try our hand here with Dr. Pierce.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Walk us through, Dr. Pierce, the Jordan Love thing. What are you seeing?
All right, so if we hold, all right. So right there, you look like his ankle is crushing in. Everybody thought it was an ankle injury to begin with, including myself. But then when you take a look back, you see the torque where the foot is planted to the ground, and now the knee's the only thing giving way, right? So you're talking about the MCL. So that's an inside ligament on the inside of the knee. He puts a lot of stress, and as his body, you got momentum there. So the player's taking him one direction, his body's going another, which opens up that whole knee on the inside. So you're stretching what we call the medial collateral ligament, the MCL. We looked at the ankle. The ankle will give way, and it's going to break from the ground, but the knee is now right there. You see it's taking that torque. So he's taking that torque on the inside, and it's opening the inside of the knee up, which is going to pull that ligament, stretch it to its limit. Fortunately, he doesn't have a tear. We're talking about, they're talking 4 weeks. So that's where I talked last time about strains. That's in that grade 1 to 2 strain where he should be able to recover and become functional. Again, the secret sauce is, I think we're looking at, that 4 to 6 week. Does he come back braced? Does he come back with a little secret sauce before a game to be more functional? That'll tell out in about 2 weeks. But I think he's definitely down for 2 weeks. The good news is there was no tear for him. And again, his ankle took a lot of abuse too. So there's probably some ankle issues, but he popped up with opening that, like what we call gapping on the inside of the knee, the medial aspect of that knee.
I guess, Doc.
How did I do compared to Braylon?
That was perfect. All we needed, DMAC, I think, was the little marker, the John Madden marker.
I'm happy to get the marker.
I thought it was here, but I realized it was here. Yeah, and he's lucky it was here. So
can we set that up next time, Spence?
Yeah, we can try something like that.
Give me a little iPad here. I'll play with it.
Doc, I'll cut the people off because they've asked you this in the past, and they're going to in about 8 seconds from now. The secret sauce, the legend of the secret sauce, Doc. It's not a universal thing. There are different sauces for different steaks, I guess you could say, right? Or different burgers.
Yeah, you go, years, sports, all that stuff. I'm kind of used as a whole big term, the secret sauce. But it consists of certain things, straight up things like therapeutic stuff, ultrasounds, electrical stimulators, laser treatments, creams that we put stuff into, all the way to biologics. Some of those things are banned and some of those things aren't banned. You have the best technology for a football team. They're the most expensive players out there. No dig on hockey, but they are the most expensive players next to soccer and maybe NASCAR. But the team, and they share it. It goes through either the front door or the back door, what needs to be done. Nobody's breaking any rules. It's just the common knowledge of science at the moment that we can do it to speed up recovery. It's all about recovery right now. The liquid recoveries, the IV recoveries, the cream recoveries, the medications. Again, the biologics are starting to play a big role. I think everybody's just trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Like, not to bring up Aaron Rodgers prematurely, but, he talks about his recovery. He did it a little bit, not traditional. He admits he had stem cell provided. They pull it from him. It was a third party, stuff like that. Those are the things these guys are allowed to do. And at Michigan Sports and Spine, we're doing that for everybody. Is it costly? Is it insurance approved? No, I mean, we're cutting edge. FDA lags what cutting edge medicine is, right? And FDA doesn't tell us how to start practicing. We lead with things that are outside the box. Before FDA necessarily approves it, we're doing it. Europe's doing it. Costa Rica, South America's doing it because they have less restrictions. We're seeing the results. So, these guys want to be, there's a lot at stake. What's his face just signed a $60 million contract. He's going to use every resource he can get to be healthy and fulfill that contract.
And DMAC, that's on both sides. That's ownership. That's players. It's as somebody who lived it.
Everybody's
it's
all in.
business.
Right.
It's business, right?
Absolute business. And to Doc's point, you got to take care of your assets or whatever like this, put them in the best position
because
possible.
you are an asset, and you know that you're an asset.
Absolutely. So, like, Doc, from when you watch this, and this is more of a common occurrence that happens in a game and stuff like this. Now, is it something that, I know they said 4 weeks, could he come back earlier from it, or is this something that they have to do, the type of injury to prepare it so he doesn't do it again?
Again, I mean, it's what he does. I think at 2 weeks they're going to be able to tell better how he's recovering, because everybody's physiology is different. How they recover is different. How his nutritional status is. I think Love is very dedicated to playing and proving himself. I think he's going to be on the shorter end of that. And again, you can brace him. You can do things to help. You get the secret sauce. How many days? How diligent is he going to be in his recovery? There's with a strain, you can kind of get around it. You can cut down the inflammation. You can take things to cut the inflammation. Like I said, I think we'll know better at 2 weeks, whether it's going to be at that 4 to 6 week phase. I predict he's going to be right around that 3-4 weeks. I think he's out for the next 2. Third week, we could see him practicing and going at it.
We have a question in the chat, Dr. Pierce, before we move on to Jahmyr Gibbs. Mike G. I want to see a chat poll. Bengay or Icy Hot? Which one, Doc? Bengay or Icy Hot? Which one's better? Come on. Putting you to the test.
It depends what decade of life you're in.
All right.
This must be an older gentleman because he's thrown People don't use that Bengay term. I know Bengay's trying to make a comeback, but with Shaq and Icy Hot, they're kicking butt.
Yeah. Icy Hot cut him off.
But you got to understand the difference of the two. They're two different mechanisms of how they work. Bengay is a lotion that smells wintergreen, all fresh, and it's more of a warming thing. Where Icy Hot is more, you ice it and then it heats up. So it's two different things. So,
dude, D-Mac, Doc just gave the audience a breakdown, the medical breakdown on Bengay and Tell me you don't love this segment.
Things I didn't have on my bingo board this morning.
Bengay.
Was Bengay and Icy Hot breakdown. But thank you, Doc.
That was
you guys are hitting me from all angles. I gotta tell you.
Hey, football's back, man. No stone is unturned. Dr. Jeff Pierce here joining us, our injury insider. Doc, I have to give you credit. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
I told you I was worried. You said, no, he's good. He looked good.
I think he looked 100%. No hesitation. That's what we look for. We talked about Aaron Rodgers and what to look for. he didn't have hesitation, entering that line, busting through that line. I didn't see any. I don't know. We really teased out his play tapes. Was there any? But I mean, what was his stats for Sunday night?
The exact. Now I can pull up. The exact.
He did
numbers.
well. I mean,
right. But the moral of the story was, Doc, the eye test, and as Spenny just said, explosive, dynamic was what it looked the exact same.
11 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So
what was it again?
11 for 40 and a touchdown. 4 catches for 34 yards.
Yeah, so he's a utility guy like he normally normal stats for him. No, I think he did great. I think they did the right thing. I have more there's a lot of confidence. You got Dan Campbell wanting to push hard, but he has some common sense in that back office of what we need to do for our key players and things like that. I think they're real healthy right now, and I think that was our fortunate outcome last year. We were a healthy team. So hats off to that medical team for the Detroit Lions.
Real quick, so I can put that to bed then? You're not worried about, like, residuals?
No, there's always that risk. I think
Give me the how.
He's one of those players that's very concerned about his body. I don't think he's shortcutting anything. I think Gibbs is committed. He knows he's fortunate to be at this level, and he doesn't take it for granted. This guy's working every day. You got that mental attitude with him already. They talk about that San Francisco 49er mental attitude. I think the Lions are capturing that too, and with some real good players that are grounded. Nobody's above anybody else on that team, which is great to see.
No, absolutely. Dr. Jeff Pierce, our injury insider, joining us, brought to you by the Michigan Sports and Spine Center. Okay, we'll finish the Triple Crown here.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers last night.
Are we talking about Michigan? Go ahead.
No. Aaron Rodgers last night, coming off the Achilles. I saw very limited mobility versus what he used to be. Now, I know it's one performance. I know it's one game. But to me, the eye test from what Aaron Rodgers was as he approaches 40 years of age, coming off an Achilles. Doc, the moral of my question is this. We always fall for this as fans. The aging quarterback that cuts bait from the team he had all the glory with, that goes to the new team as he's pushing 40, and we think it's just magically going to transfer over, let alone mixing in an Achilles into the mix. What I saw was nowhere near as mobile as he used to be. And look, Aaron Rodgers was never Steve Young or never Randall Cunningham, but he was deceptive. He had deceptive ability to scramble.
Correct.
I think he looks compromised. But I'm not Dr. Pierce, and I don't know you. I know you weren't sitting there with Monday night. You're not sitting there with your notepad and your stethoscope and sitting there in your lab jacket and stuff like that. I'm just telling you the vibes I got.
I'm not going to disagree with you. He did not look healthy. I don't know if it's that factor of, like we said, the mental. I mean, we think Aaron Rodgers is the strongest mental player in the NFL. He does all that other stuff to expand his brain power. His eyes looked different last night. It didn't look like a confident eyes. I mean, if you look at his eyes, you look at his body habit, was it, I need to get hit, I need to get through a game to realize I'm not going to re-injure. You could see how ginger he was just in that pocket when he was pushing off. I don't think he planted either foot on any real throw. I mean, he had that touchdown up the middle on the broken play with the flag thrown. I mean, he flung that thing. He didn't step into it and throw it. I mean, he's got arm strength. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is seasoned. He knows how to get through a game differently than a 20-year-old immature quarterback. I mean, he's going to live it. Is he physically 100%? Not what I saw last night. Is he mentally 100%? No, not what I saw last night. Will that come? Will that come with the hits and the plays? I mean, did he really get ready preseason? I don't think he did that either. I think the season's going to get him better. I mean, he played a strong team. I mean, San Francisco, they're on you in a second. I mean, this guy, he couldn't think as quick as he used to. But again, time of possession, geez, San Francisco killed him. What was it, like 2/3 San Francisco, 1/3 Green Bay? He didn't even have a chance to do much.
Well, and that's the difference, because the Rams had the ball the whole time Sunday night too.
Yeah,
and they lost.
Second half.
Yep, and they lost. So there it was. Doc, we appreciate you coming through. As always, appreciate the breakdown. Football's here, so
I gotta be ready.
You got to be ready to
I
go.
be ready for the bang. I gotta read good housekeeping. Make sure I keep on my Bengay and icy hot items.
D-Mac, which one did you prefer back in the day? Were you more team Bengay or more icy hot?
Icy hot.
He was just
Flexall. It was Flexall.
Oh, I forgot about
right.
Flexall.
Flexall was a sponsor. of the
Flexall
NHL.
454.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that Canadian? Come out of Canada?
Maybe.
Flexall was the big.
Yeah, that
Flexall's
was
the
a
big one. That's
sponsor.
what we all use.
Maxwell or whatever else. But
While the boys
That
were,
was more of an icy hot.
while the boys were in college and we had the beer league softball.
Remember,
going.
although Cheeky used to use Tiger Bomb. That
Tiger Bomb.
That
Tiger Bomb's actually my number one.
Tiger Bomb's
Yeah,
crazy.
Cheeky turned me on to it, but he would put a ton on. Like that's why I tell people start with a little bit and add to it. You'd be on fire in 3 minutes.
On
Tiger
fire,
Bomb.
you smell it, walk in the room, smell it. Or if like one of the Russians were on the table before you, clean you out. Tiger Bomb's the dizzle.
It's like
Tiger Bomb is
super
number
icy
one.
hot.
Yeah. Well, the Flexall 454 when me and the boys started playing the beer league softball, all the guys that were pitchers that never threw for 3 years and then started throwing bombs from the outfield all the time, and they would come in with their elbows burning. That was the official Flexall was the official elbow soother for all the guys. Real quick, Doc, before we let you go, John, that was an elite breakdown. So thanks, Doc. We appreciate you.
I appreciate that feedback. That'll keep me going.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, we do want to encourage people to ask what they want to hear and what they want to talk about and stuff like that.
No, absolutely. You guys want to know about something? Drop it in there, man. Docs, I'll give you this, Doc. You are very, very good on the spot. There are not a lot. No, it's for real. There are not a lot of people in this business even that do this for a living that are comfortable with. Well, what's the script? What do we talk about? You're good. You're good on your feet.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, we stopped doing that script thing. You guys just fire at me no matter what.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.